Welcome back to the Daily Drop. Okay, so look, this is, to be honest, like the most sort of intense episode I've done, but also the most honest, and I think something that really helps everybody. We're going to get into a bit deeper. Okay, so we're talking about intersectionality in the blockchain, but we're here in Canada, and look, Canada, quite frankly, has a very disgusting history with residential schools. Okay, so I guess my question for you is, knowing all that, right? Plus this relationship with England, all these sort of historical atrocities as the foundation. Do you think that systemic racism is deeply embedded into Canadian culture?
I think so. First, I'll say I'm definitely not an expert in any of this, and I know there's a lot of different perspectives on this. I think my view is with the treatment of Indigenous people and just even Canada's origination. Some of these things are just part of our DNA, and that doesn't mean that there's no path forward, but it's something that needs to be recognized. And I think what a lot of people struggle to understand, and I'm experiencing it firsthand, is that it's not necessarily a lot of things that need to happen for um, people to start feeling some sense of reconciliation. And I'm not speaking on behalf of any group, Indigenous or people of color, but speaking for myself, I think that even a sense of acknowledgement of things that have happened goes a long way. And you do see that happening with different groups in Canada, which I think is very positive. But for example, the opposite effect of that that I've seen is with King Charles being proclaimed as king of the monarch of Canada. That brought up all these feelings of this is this is an empire that has caused so much harm, and we're not even taking a moment to hear the voices of Canadians that have been affected by by this, and I think that's really the wrong move. And so I think this is part of our beautiful makeup, is how diverse and multicultural we are. And so I think we need to listen to the voices of the people within Canada.
Yeah, look, and I appreciate you, being part of this conversation because it's an important conversation. And look, I have a television show, and I look for world experts, and I do get them, but it is very difficult to find people of color, women,
Mhm.
people from the LGBTQ plus community. I don't know, like why is that? Because we
What?
have we
Okay,
have
I
yeah,
I can answer that. I can answer that
right.
because people are scared to speak out about these issues, and
Mhm.
I can say that because I feel like I've been in that position where if you're on a certain path in your career, or whatever it is, it's as a person of color, as an underrepresented group, as a woman, you really need to fit a mold to be able to get to certain levels. And the more that you stray from that, the higher the risk is that you get ignored or you get booted out. And so I think there's a bit of it's a really interesting dichotomy, because it's a bit of self-preservation at play, where you're thinking, okay, I just need to advance and get there, and then at the same time you're going through these different levels of of business in the world, or whatever it is that you're doing, and seeing all these injustices and all this inequity, and you and if you're at all aware of that, then you're really being pulled to speak out about that. So I think there's and I think there's people that I look to who have done that historically, and who I think are doing a really good job of that now. So I think we're like, in terms of solutions, I think we are seeing platforms like yours that are giving voices to people that are willing to take that stand and willing to share that message. And I think, honestly, that's a big step forward.
Well, thank you, but also for you to have the courage to do it. We're going to get into solutions after the break because I do think that is the most important part of this whole episode. But just yes or no, because we only have like about 30 seconds. But do you think that if you didn't have the status, quite frankly, the power that you have now, that you would even be talking about this on this show?
I can say for sure I would not be heard.
Wow.
uh, And I can say that because
You know what?
I've
Let's just that
sure,
alone. The fact that you
yeah,
said no, right?
mhm,
And you're being honest and raw. Um, I mean that kind of says it all, doesn't
that's
it?
it.
We've got Ben
It does.
Samaroo here on the Daily Drop.